Can't see if anybody's in here yet, so we're just going to give this a minute. Hi, Justice. I can't tell who else is in here, so I'm just giving this a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start because I don't want to be live forever today. But I know there's more documents going to come out. Christy was telling me that there are more coming out. They haven't yet, but the objection to evidence that the defense put out about the prosecution, which is a lump sum of evidence that the defense don't even know what the prosecution is going to use. That, I think, is more important than what people know or putting into this. The documentation is a part of Brian Kohberger's defense's team's objection to the state's motion in limine. The state wants to automatically admit tons of evidence without proper proof. The state of Idaho has gathered a massive amount of evidence, videos, financial records, surveillance footage, parking records, bank statements, etc. The state is asking the court to automatically allow this evidence into the trial without requiring them to prove any of its authentic or verify where it came from. The defense is saying, wait a minute, you can't just dump all this evidence on us and expect it to be used in court without proving it's legit. So basically, the state is trying to skip an important legal step where they would normally have to prove these records, videos, and documents are accurate and authentic. Sorry. Okay. So now I don't know how this is going to go in Idaho court, but normally speaking, the way this stuff works is not like this. So the state hasn't specified what they will use in trial. So they've handed over all these terabytes of video and thousands of pages of documents, but they haven't said which specific videos they will use, what parts of the financial records they plan to rely on and why, what evidence they think proves Kohberger's guilt, which, you know. So basically, in translation, the defense team is saying we can't prepare proper defense if we don't know what part of the mountain of evidence they're going to use against our client, which is what Ann Taylor has been saying and the other lawyers on the defense. No proper certification of records. Under the Idaho Rules of Evidence, IRE 902 and IRE 803, business and financial records like Walmart purchases or bank statements need certification. Surveillance videos also need authentication to prove they were not altered. They were kept in normal course of business. The state has not provided these necessary certifications, which makes the evidence inadmissible unless they fix it. Of course, that is to be determined by a judge. I didn't say this, it's rolling across the screen, I think. Okay, yeah. All of what I'm saying is alleged. So, I mean, this is the way it's supposed to work. This is the way it's going to work. I don't know. Um, surveillance footage has no chain of custody or certification. Okay. So the video surveillance from places like Walmart, Winneco, the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, where he got his tags and stuff, WSU, but they have not verified or certified who handled the footage, whether the footage was altered or edited, if it's a true and complete recording. So basically, the defense is saying, and that, no, I don't know if this is the exact words they're saying. In context, they're saying we need proof that these videos are real and have not been tampered with before they can be used as evidence. Duplicate and conflicting records provided. The state provided multiple copies of the same records with slight variations. Examples, bank records for Kohberger and MM were provided under different identification numbers, but with small differences between copies. So the defense could be saying, how can we trust this evidence if we're getting different versions of the same documents? Grand jury subpoena problems. Some of the records were obtained through a federal grand jury subpoena and others through search warrants. But the copies produced from the subpoena don't match the copies produced from the search warrants. There's also a letter from FBI agent Douglas instructing the custodian of records to contact him before complying with the subpoena. The defense could be saying something is off here. Why are the records inconsistent? Why is the FBI controlling what gets released? Kohberger's constitutional rights are at risk. Due process violations. Kohberger has a right to a fair trial. Dumping unverified evidence on the defense and not specifying which will be used makes it impossible to prepare a strong defense. Sixth Amendment confrontational clause. Kohberger has the right to confront the evidence and witnesses against him. He cannot confront evidence that has not been properly authenticated or verified. So the defense is saying if the state does not follow rules, it violates Kohberger's constitutional right to a fair trial. Request for court to deny state's motion. Kohberger's team is asking the court to deny the state's request to automatically admit this evidence, exclude any videos, records, or documents that don't have proper certification, force the state to specify what exactly they plan to use as evidence. So, in simple terms, again, this may not be exactly what the defense is saying, but in general, the prosecution is trying to get away with dumping a mountain of evidence on us without following the rules. They're not telling us what they're going to use. They haven't proven that any of it's real or properly obtained. If the court allows this, it violates Brian's right to a fair trial. So the next steps is the hearings. What can happen next and what does this mean for Kohberger? Kohberger's defense is making a strong argument that the state is trying to use improperly authenticated videos, evidence without following required legal process. This could have major implications for the case. A breakdown of that could be evidence could be thrown out. If the judge agrees with the defense that the state has failed to properly authenticate or certify evidence, the state did not specify what parts of evidence they will use, the evidence was obtained improperly or inconsistently, subpoena versus search warrant, conflicts, result, the judge could exclude or suppress large portions of the evidence. This means a jury would never see or hear about the evidence during the trial. High risk that evidence could be excluded. Surveillance videos from Walmart, Winco, DMV, WSU, etc. If they can't prove chain of custody or authenticity, financial records, bank records, PayPal, Venmo, and purchase history that aren't properly certified. Phone records, T-Mobile, Verizon, and TikTok. User records if not verified correctly. WSU parking records, information about Kohberger's Vehicle movements. If excluded, the prosecution could loses key pieces of evidence that link Kohberger to the crime. This would weaken their case, well, clearly. Whoops. This could make more pretrial hearings. More hearings come about pretrial, which are like these, to, depending on how the judge rules in this, to find out if he gives them time to authenticate whatever. This also gives the defense more gain at poking holes in the prosecution's case. Prosecution may have to recertify all evidence. The judge could go back and say that they need to establish chain of custody, go back and certify every piece of evidence, specify what evidence is going to be used, and if they fail, then it's inadmissible. They can't use it. Prosecution's case could collapse without key evidence, which I don't think they have anyways, but that pokes more holes in for reasonable doubt. And if he is convicted, an appeal, of course, would come out of this. And that's because this stuff is not certified correctly. It was not done correctly. Chain of evidence, all of that. It could even have a potential for mistrial or dismissal. If the jury is exposed to inadmissible evidence, or if the case becomes unmanageable. Dismissal if the state is unable to prove enough reliable evidence after evidence is excluded. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying what this could mean. The likely outcome is a judge may require the state to authenticate or specify what they will use. Some evidence may be excluded, but enough may remain to proceed with the trial. So the next steps are the hearings. So I don't think a lot of people took these as serious as they should, maybe. Hey, y'all, sorry I was not on this, where the chat stuff is. And I know people's read over these, and I was going over documents because I haven't been live, and I was trying to figure out what to talk about, if there was anything. And this stuff, people just go over, and it's like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. It's just this or this. This should be a big deal, because I think this is what Ann Taylor has been saying for a while. They literally just gave her a bunch of crap to listen or to look at, and I can't see the judge in this case actually having a jury look at a bunch of stuff that just don't matter. I'm not going to go back over all of these financial records and stuff. Clearly you can look at these and see a lot of them don't even have anything to do with Brian, or there's so much of it they didn't even go through it. They just handed her 3 and 4 hours worth of video, which explains the terabytes of data they have, or how many ever terabytes, whatever they're saying. It's not that much evidence against Brian Kohberger. Everybody was like, oh my God, look at that evidence. No, it's not. It's really not, as we see. So if I was a judge, I would be pissed off, because this is a lot of useless stuff that I'm just going to have to go through. That's just me, though. Yeah. DNA, hey, keep your DNA close to yourself. I know that 23andMe is going bankrupt, and there's some stuff that y'all probably need to look up if y'all think y'all have submitted your stuff to 23andMe, or have family members that have submitted stuff to 23andMe. There's some steps, so y'all, I would look that up. Wear hazmat suit. Yeah, that too. That too, where hazmat suit, yeah. Um, I just thought it was important to come on and maybe a few people will understand what I'm saying. That literally, I mean, if I was a prosecution, there's no way I would submit all of this stuff to this judge and say, here, I want to make this, you know, admissible evidence without certifying anything. It doesn't matter what it is, just hours and hours of video. That's crazy. Well, I don't know. They may. I mean, I would think so. With all of this evidence, I would hope that the judge is seeing something. Because why in the world would you have to submit all this stuff? What is the point in submitting a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter? I don't see. I mean, I would be mad. They're fixing to go through all these hearings because the prosecution literally wants to put stuff up there. And I think the judge hasn't the judge already said something about this to Jennings, actually, about making sure that they're certifying or saying what they're going to use. Didn't this something he's already said to them? Well, I mean, and the thing is just like that the 911 call coming out. I think that come out because somebody knew that these other things with the roommates were going to be unsealed, and they're trying to say, "Look over here" instead of over here, and that's working in a lot of ways. But the thing is the judge is still going to have to look at what the prosecution has after this is determined in court. I mean, literally, there's going to have to be 2 or 3 days of this. Of what? Because most of this stuff does not even have anything to do with Brian Koberger. Like stuff from that makeup, whatever that place is. I can't even remember the name of it now. But anyways, what the hell has that got to do with anything? I mean, they've got stuff in here that Ann Taylor's like, this isn't even about Brian Koberger. And so that's what I was telling y'all when I said, what are we gonna look at? A bunch of exhibits that have absolutely nothing to do with Brian Koberger? And he's the one on trial? What's the point? I mean, what is the point? Oh my God, Twiz. Yeah, he did. Yeah, if you watched A.R. Hayes last night, you know that. I mean, that's because I trust AR. I've known before he probably leaked it, but that's what. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, this is the second judge. The first judge was the proceeding judge until they assigned a judge or whatever. The one that Megan Marshall, the one that did the I guess signed off on the warrants and stuff, but she wasn't the presiding judge. They assigned judge to it. Yeah, she wasn't the presiding judge over the case though. I don't think she was just I guess I don't remember what they call them, but the ones that sign off on the warrants and stuff. And then there was Judge, and then now Judge Hoopler. But I mean, the way Judge Hippler acts to me, I can't see him not being mad. Like, I can't, I would think he would, I guess he's got to wait on the hearings. I don't know how that works. I don't know all their rules and stuff, but I mean, I would be pissed off if you're coming in front of me wanting me to admit all this evidence, but why? For what reason? You don't want to tell me why you want to admit it. You just want us to sit here and look at all this stuff. That's going to be, yeah, magistrate. Yeah, that's what it was. But you're going to be, I mean, yeah, I cannot. Sephora, that's the name of that place. I don't shop for makeup in places like that. I'm just not paying that much for makeup. But anyways, Sephora, like, what has that got to do with anything? Can somebody explain to me what that has to do with anything in this case? I mean, unless that's what they used as I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with this case at all. I can't see. And then the stuff where she's like, I mean, what? Okay. So they just recorded Brian going to get his tags. Who cares? We know he got his tags. What the hell has that got to do with anything? So it doesn't sound like the defense is throwing stuff against the wall. It sounds like the prosecution is throwing stuff against the wall. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. I mean, did they think they were going to bore everybody to death did they, I guess that's what they thought. They were going to bore the jury to death into just finding him guilty. I'm confused. Anybody have an idea? Twiz, something, anybody? As to what we're doing besides what I said we were doing? We're going to have a bunch of exhibits that have absolutely nothing to do with anything, and the jury's going to be confused, just like we are, going, what the hell is really going on? Just wondering. That's what I'm saying. Not from the defense. I'm talking about from the state. That's what I'm saying. They're the ones that have to prove the case. I'm afraid that the defense is the one that's going to end up proving the case because I believe, Twiz, and tell me if I'm wrong, somebody, Ann Taylor has come out in documents. I haven't read them yet, but from what I have heard from people that I trust that's read them, that Ann Taylor has basically come out and said that she's going to basically say who did it or say who was involved, that there were multiple people involved in it. And for the defense to do that, one, that is very risky. Most of the time, if you look back on cases and you can Google it, the defense does not come in and do that. They don't come in and just say, hey, AR, that's who I was talking about last night. That's who I go to. If he says something, and I take it for what it is because he's never lied to me before. So, I'm just trying to figure out for defense to come in and like literally if she's going to come in and basically do what the prosecution is technically supposed to do, and I could be saying this wrong, AR, whoever, if I am, then tell me I'm saying it all the way wrong. But if Ann's going to come in and their defense team is going to come in and prove who did this, then that's like taking opposite sides of the way they usually do it. And a defense usually does not, because that is risky for them. So, in my opinion, she's got enough evidence to prove exactly what happened, or she wouldn't do it. So, that's going to be interesting. Well, I don't even know. I don't know if they've proved that, Tammy. I'm not even sure if they. I don't know that they ever proved what year this car was. I think that car was a red herring anyway. I don't. Like I said this from the jump. As soon as they said who Brian Koberger was, if Brian Koberger was involved, he didn't take his car or his phone, and the state has married him to that car and that phone. So, but I mean, so they can't change that, and I said that from the beginning. That's just the way I feel about that. I can't see. I don't see the state being able to change their car and phone theory. I don't even know how they're going to prove the PCA. I mean, anyway, like I said, I'm not sure how all that has to be done. Um, yeah. If you haven't watched last night, AR and Dago were on stream. It was really good. I had to finish watching it this morning because I went to sleep last night, but I finished watching it this morning and it was really good. Well, yeah. Them tearing the house down, I mean, I already knew pretty much why to me. I had an opinion of why, and that's still my opinion. I don't know for fact, but the DNA coming out now is the whole reason that I figured that they took the house down anyway. Is to keep other people from being infiltrative, whatever, implicated in the crime. But I have always, like I said, since they've said who Brian Koberger was, I busted out laughing and said, well, they're stupid because he didn't take his car or his phone. If that was the case, that's just my strong opinion of that. But you know, and I don't even know why they would say something that stupid. That was the first thing I said. I was laughing. I said, okay, why would they even? We need to, AR, we need to. I don't know what you're doing now. If you want to come up, I can, if you're busy or whatever, that's fine. I keep on forgetting to drop the link, y'all. You know, I do these lives when I feel like I have something to say and then I forget. Whoa, hang on. I don't even know. Hang on. No, I mean, because, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Ann Taylor knew, like, I don't think she needs the house to prove. I mean, she may, I don't think she needs it. I just, I don't think she needs it. Um, at all. Hang on one second, y'all. Okay. I'm telling y'all that's the link. I think that's the link. If they are, whoever, Twiz or whoever wants to come up. Yeah, it doesn't hurt Brian to let the house go. Well, I mean, I don't know what that Pharaoh scan's going to do for the jury, but I mean, I don't know how all of that works. So it doesn't hurt Brian though for the house to be gone. Like the defense is not usually going to have a problem with the house being gone or the crime scene usually being gone. But the prosecution did try to get it down before Ann even got put on the case, basically. Huh. You're welcome. I mean, I just thought this was important because I know a lot of people were. I mean, I know people know that it's important that it's not evidence or they're just throwing stuff out there, but like to see what the prosecution is throwing out there, like if you had your person dead it right, then why are you throwing all this stuff out there that don't matter? Like Sephora stuff. I mean, who cares? Okay. The girls went and bought mascara. What the fuck? What does that have to do with anything? I'm confused. I don't think Brian Koberger was at Sephora. I just don't think he was. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he was. Let me see if I can. Hang on, y'all. Maybe find where I put this so I can pin this link. Right there. Okay. That's the link if whoever wants to come up because I would lose it. Yeah, I think they were. That's why I think that they did that. I do think that. Hey, P Fox, we're just talking about the stuff that the prosecution is throwing at the wall, trying to all of the terabytes of evidence and how actually important it is that they're doing this, especially when people are saying the defense is trying to prolong stuff and everything else. We're going to have how many days of hearings for this stuff that from Sephora that has nothing to do with Brian Koberger? And it seems the prosecution is just wanting the judge to allow it without certification or without saying exactly what they're using in it. 3 and 4 hours of video that has nothing to do with Brian Koberger at all. So that's what we're talking about. P Fox sleeps as much as I do. Well, actually, lately I've been sleeping a lot. I don't think they were confident to, well, They were a little bit more confident, but I mean, I think they're doing whatever they can not to drop the case, but at a certain point, no matter whether the judge wants to or not, if there's not enough evidence, I mean, what's he going to do? But I mean, I don't understand the DNA stuff and how that's gonna work. So, well, that's what I was saying. Like, if they had hard evidence, they would be saying this video's from here, this video's from here, just like the stuff that where the judge is hearing something on a video, that video saying that he heard a thud or whatever he heard, and the defense is saying they don't hear anything. So what is the deal? Did the prosecution give the defense a video that doesn't have sound on it, or what? That's questionable to me. What do you mean that one, these people hear it and these people don't? Well, that's what I'm saying. There's documents out where Ann Taylor's basically saying that she is going to. There's lots of alternate suspects, and I mean, I don't know that she said this exact, but she's basically saying, I'm going to prove that these suspects, you know what I mean? Like, this is what happened. So, yeah, whatever. And I don't know what exactly Maddie told Adam or whatever. Um, I don't think Jack could have stopped anything that happened. I don't know that he knew exactly what was going to happen, but I think they all knew something. So that's just my opinion of it. That's just like with the roommates. Like I've held my tongue about well, I haven't when it comes to DM. But since this stuff has come out, I I mean, anybody that's still trying to say poor whatever, that's their problem. I don't know what to say. They need to think about if it was their kid and there was two people in there, think about if it was even if it was other girls. I mean, that's what I told Christy. If it was me and her, we would probably be under the jail, and we're female. I still think we would be under the jail. So, I mean, there's stuff that Anne's saying that they put out some stuff about Linda Lane or whatever that doesn't have relevance. She can't find relevance. So, I'm not sure what that is. I do think a lot of things have gotten leaked, so we look over here and not over there. And it's been in those times that that's happened. That's why I never went down the whole car thing. I was like, this right here is ridiculous. And, you know, if there was a car involved, I'm not sure it got on camera. Yeah, and I don't think it's just the DNA Aunt Taylor's going to prove. I think there's other stuff. The stuff about Bethany at the park, I don't know if y'all remember, we heard that she got a DUI in Washington, and I thought it was at that park. I could be wrong, but I'm wondering if that's what they're talking about. I'm not sure. And I don't know when, and that's alleged. I can't remember who said it or whatever, but something was said about the park. Just wait till later for what, Twiz? Oh, just wait till later. Oh, you're talking about Anne. Oh, yeah. She, I mean, yeah, I think there's stuff Anne knows that's not coming out. Oh, well, you always have something. And I honestly believe that they were all four targets for different reasons. Maybe some in the same, but still for different reasons. I'm kind of starting to think that Zane and Ethan may have been first. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I don't even know if they can actually determine the weapon because depending on the way the weapon was used, it could trigger warning, y'all. Tear the skin differently or the same or whatever. So I don't even know. Hey, Truth and Justice. I don't know how they're going to determine that. I guess there's a way. I also think there should be a way to determine how long. I know that a couple of the parents have come out, and I try not to specify parents. I don't talk crap about the parents. I will say the truth about what I think about what's going on with that, but I don't like, out of respect for before, I do how I do, but I don't take up if I think they're doing wrong. But I know a couple of the parents have come out and said that, and I forgot what the hell I was about to say completely. Completely forgot what I was about to say. Something about the parents, but anyways. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that. Oh yeah, that nothing could be done. I know I was going to say that nothing could be done, even if they called 911 sooner. Well, there's a way they can tell that, and I'm sure that I would think that when they did their autopsies, trigger warning, y'all. I'm just saying this. I should have put it up there, but saying for anybody went in here that can tell them how long they were alive after they were injured. I mean, I know in 2025 there's a way they can do that. And that is, I don't want to know that for gory reasons. I want to know that for the fact that that will determine whether I think the two roommates should go to jail for life or not. Because if if it was any time period that they were alive before they expired, then there was, they should have called 911 anyway, regardless. But I'm just saying. Well, even if Cyrate don't testify, they're going to let his statements in. That's basically what the judges said. I mean, they're doing this for this hearing. They're saying because they've already heard Cyrate testify, but they've got him on standby if the judge has any questions. I don't know because y'all, what people don't understand is I don't care what Idaho's law is for an alibi. The constitutional law trumps all of that, and it is very specific on these alibi stuff. So I think they're going to have to let it in. Yeah, there you go, Christine. That's what I have going across the screen too. Everything said here's alleged, not fact. Even the stuff that we're saying is fact in these court documents, we found some of it may not be. So, I'm just saying how I feel. And everybody else here is too. So, that's just, yeah, how I feel about. I think I think they all had eyes on Brian longer than we think, or at least the FBI did. And I think that the FBI, because I remember when this first come out, the FBI told them not to use the DNA, that transfer DNA, that they were going to have to build a case against Brian Koberger if they wanted to use him. Here's the tip. But if y'all want to use him, this is a tip we had. We've looked into it, whatever. And I think, allegedly, my opinion, the college took off with that because he was an outsider. It was a good way to get something done, to get somebody arrested, so that way the college didn't lose money. Oh, does he? Tonka said that apparently he has a real witness besides just Cy. Who are we talking about? Because I've missed that somewhere. I mean, and if he is on the spectrum and everything else, then a lot of people think people like that are odd. He does seem nervous, like people think he just has no look, no emotional look on his face. That is the way people like that. I mean, that's just how they do. Yeah, there's a lot, Mouse, with that. Like, just like the 911 call. I don't even like to discuss whether that's real or fake. I do say that the text that BF and DM, I believe, and this is just my opinion, they were beside each other on those texts they were sending each other. I think those were rehearsed. Which I haven't looked for that. Tonga, what document is that? Somebody put in the link or tell me what document it is because I haven't. Apparently, I've missed that one. Y'all, some of these documents come out so fast that I have ADHD. I have a hard time looking through all of them. And I don't talk about all of them because I'm not the document queen. That's Miss Potts. I cannot with the documents, but certain ones that I can go through and pick out, okay, this is important because of this reason or whatever I do or try to. Okay, hang on. Give me just 1 second, y'all. Let me. Oh, my idiot self. I took the website down. Okay. Hang on. What day did it come out? Do y'all know? No, I'm looking at the right date. And I'm probably looking at it still. Is it still up here? Wait a minute. Hmm. Yeah, did they still have this thing up here? Or am I just not finding it? Yeah, I think Ann Taylor is alumni, but that don't mean that she's not going against, most of them are alumni from there because, I mean, that's where they grew up. That's where they went to school. And y'all, I'm not finding this alibi document. Unless that's one of the ones they took off. Or has that not come out yet? I know there's a bunch Chrissy said hadn't come out yet. Okay. All right. Give me just a second. Let me go to Discord. Yeah, if there's a video on it, we'll watch it because that makes more sense than me trying to explain it. What the heck? Ah. All right. Hang on. Oh, I found it. Okay. All right, hang on, y'all. Let me stop it so we can. What the heck? I hate when this does this. Okay, hang on. Stop it. Thank you. All right. Share screen. All right, hang on, y'all. This mouse goes crazy when I share screen. I don't know why.
Witnesses that put him somewhere else other than the crime scene, and now the media is losing it. Listen to this because it's just crazy.
Is now alluding to the fact they have witnesses that place Brian Koberger somewhere completely different than the crime scene.
The alibi is due on April 17th, but they got it. And now the media doesn't know what to do because if he can prove he was somewhere else other than the crime scene, game over, folks. It's game over. But those witnesses better be protected. And I mean, they better be under like SWAT team surveillance 24/7 because they need to make it to trial or else this is just going to get so bad. So strap yourselves in, folks, because BK has witnesses that put him somewhere else other than the crime scene, and now the media doesn't know what to do.
Okay, we're going to listen to that again.
BK has witnesses that put him somewhere else other than the crime scene, and now the media is losing it. Listen to this because it's just crazy.
Is now alluding to the fact they have witnesses that place Brian Koberger somewhere completely different than the crime scene.
The alibi is due on April 17th, but they got it. And now the media doesn't know what to do because if he can prove he was somewhere else other than the crime scene, game over, folks. It's game over. But those witnesses better be protected. And I mean, they better be under like SWAT team surveillance 24/7 because they need to make it to trial or else this is just going to get so bad. So strap yourselves in, folks, because BK has witnesses that put him somewhere else other than the crime scene, and now the media doesn't know what to do.
Well, alrighty then. So that's going to be interesting. So maybe somebody was with him or saw him. Hey, Kiki. That will be very interesting, Tony. That was a good find. Yeah, that's crazy. So wouldn't it be wild if Anne proves that there's a witness and then proves who did the crime? That would, I don't know if that's the first, but that's the first I've heard. And like I said, for her to basically say that she, from what I understand, this is what she's saying, that she can put people there, basically alternate suspects, that she can, if she's going to do this, she's going to be able to prove that they did something, because they're not, she's not just going to, it's too risky to do it any other way, in my opinion. You're going to have to, you can't just say Jack and Jill were there, you know what I mean? Like, you have to prove it. You can't just come in with like third party evidence like that. And I think Idaho has like strict things on that. I'm not sure, y'all. I don't know all the laws. I'm not even going to pretend I do. But from what I've read, Idaho has strict rules on that. So, what Twiz? I thought she said there was a hearing on April 17th. Or that's when it was due or something. I didn't look at the date, y'all. So, I really didn't. Twiz, are you saying that video was from 2024? The 9th of April? Hell, I don't know. I thought the alibi was due last year. So, do they have anything for the alibi due this year? Well, I didn't look at the date, Twiz. I don't even barely know how to work TikTok. I have TikTok. I don't really know how to work it. I still can't find the date. Well, at any rate, his phone records can prove that he wasn't there. Cyree said that. So, oh, that video is from March 17th, 2024. Okay. I think the more important part is Anne saying that she can, there's alternate suspects that basically she can put there. Yeah, I'm not sure about the missing persons reports they have. I know that they've had deaths. I mean, just that they said were self inflicted or whatever. Okay, so are y'all talking about the document or the video? I'm getting confused. If that's the document, hang on a second. Okay, I'm looking at this thing here, but I'm not sure if is this saying stuff that was supposed to come out yesterday because it didn't. What is today's date? Where are we at? Oh, we're at the 26th. Did I miss these documents? Because I haven't seen a witness list. Maybe I didn't look at it good. I don't think all of them come out on the 24th. Christy, is this what you're saying is supposed to be coming out that hasn't come out yet? All this stuff they have listed for the 24th? Because I don't think it's come out yet at all. Thank you, James. I don't think that's come out. I haven't seen it. Okay, yeah, that's what Christy was talking about. Sorry, I was not caught up in chat. Um, okay, so yeah, when those documents come out, there's going to be a lot. It's fine, James. You're fine. Um, when those documents are going to be, yeah, the witness list and all that. And I do know that Sleuthy Goosey was saying that just because people on the witness list don't mean that all of them are going to testify. They list some of them that they may not even have up there, but just in case they need them. So, yeah, yeah, it should, Chrissy. I know some of them, a couple of times they've dropped at night, but Idaho is 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours behind me, I think. 2 hours behind me, something like that. Thank you, James. You're good. Yeah, I don't worry about that stuff, y'all. I mean, it's nice. Thank you. But I do this because I like to do it and because I like my questions answered too. So when I have questions, a lot of times I'm getting up here to ask y'all, hey, what's this mean? Sometimes people think I'm informing them, and I'm like, no, I want somebody to tell me what this means. But yeah, those documents that are about to drop, Chrissy, are going to be wild. We'll sure enough need Miss Potts to be going over those. Like I said, I just go over the ones and it took me a while to even get that up and then realize what they were saying and look all the stuff up and all that. I'm slower at it. I don't know what a lot of these words mean, so I don't go. Yeah, I don't go into all of them, and I'm not going to do lives on them when I don't know what they mean because that's just crazy. Um, I do kind of make sure I know what something means before I do it, or try to. Bye, Mouse. Have a good day. Thank you. Um, but I just thought that was important. Hey, Aquarius, because of the implications in a normal, I'm saying in a normal courtroom because I mean, I don't have an opinion all the way of Judge Hippler one way or the other because I can see both different ways of the reason he's doing some of the stuff he's doing. So I'm not sure, and I'm not in law, so I can't. I'm also not in his head, so I can't say for sure. That's why when I do my cards, I just tell y'all that some of the stuff I've had people come back and say, hey, do you know you were right about that? Nope, I really don't even remember. There are certain things I remember. In fact, there's a video coming out. I think at 2, I said it to come out to where I'm just not starting over, but like, what did we miss? And it's going to be like a 2 or 3 part thing because the first video was 30 minutes and I got into one part of it and that was it. So I do, and I have always thought it was bigger than way bigger than what it's implicated right now that it is. I do think it has things to do with stuff that those kids were not exactly involved with that they may have found out information about. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, not just that university, but there are other universities that are involved with other ways to make money. So, you know, that's my opinion of that, though. That could be wrong. That's just the way I feel. And I feel the more trying to hide the college's anything in this makes it look more suspicious. And that's what I tried to let everybody know. The movement of people, the movement of substances does not mean that those particular, that 4 had to be involved in any of that. They could have found out stuff. These organizations don't just work with people that go to their school or that they know, like they would have to work with outside stuff. I do think some of it has to do with the frats and sororities and some of the sports stuff that goes on. And that's just from reading the news articles of all the coaches and stuff that's gotten in trouble, what they've gotten in trouble for, the stuff that went on with the sports with this university. And there's others. So, yeah. Well, I mean, you also have to work with people dealing in things that are illegal if you're gonna make money off things that are illegal, if that makes sense. And also, a lot of these, and not all of them, because my nephew was in a fraternity and they didn't do all this stuff. It was a lower level fraternity. I still think there's a spiritual aspect to all of them, but I mean, they didn't do all this hazing stuff. Not all of them do that. The bigger, well known ones do, but also the bigger, well known ones are also the ones that, if you go back, our presidents, our government officials, those type people have been involved in these fraternities. And to me, what they learn is you can do what you want to as long as you pay somebody off that won't tell on you. I mean, there's other stuff that goes into that, but that's just the main goal. This is how you move up. This is how you do this. This is how you do that, which is horseshit to me. Oh, you're fine. Nothing happened. You're fine. Oh, we need to watch some of her stuff. I'm glad you come in here because it is hilarious. Christy, post the link because I know you have it like that for Nothing Half-Assed, so I can, one, so everybody has it too. Y'all go like and subscribe to her stuff. It is hilarious. But there's a couple of them I want to watch because I thought I was going to die. Some of them I try to wait to watch until I do a live, so that way I don't know what it said until I watch them, but they are hilarious. Yeah, I always holler Christy because she has the links to everything. Anything you could want, she's got a link to. Let's see. Hang on. There's one. I want to watch this one. Okay, hang on now. Let me share the screen. Oh, I don't know about what Tommy's doing. I'm just going to say that. Okay, I'm going to mute myself so that when I play this, I'm not echoing.
Professor? Nothing Half-Assed show is on. Can we watch, please? Please? I just love Fancy Grace.
Feline Fred, it's Fancy. Have you gotten me that interview with Howard Bloom yet? Is he still with Nancy? What's going on? Go!
Hello, Fancy. I've been waiting out here in front of Nancy's studios, trying to catch a glimpse of Mr. Famous Howard Bloom, because he's been out talking about his book. So far, I've not seen him, but I did get a little interview with, there was a bunch of, like, 4 horsemen that rode in, and a big swirling black cloud, and then there was these, like, red chicks. All around, so, like, I don't know, they were chanting something like, da, 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 da. I don't know, but I asked them. One of them said, "Oh yeah, we know about Fancy. So here's my little interview with her. She gave a shout out to you. Okay, thanks, Fancy. Back to you.
Oh, hello, Fancy dear. Still being a good girl, I see. Well, aren't you cute? Honey, I work in media. My name is Fancy Grace, in case you didn't remember. And I see devils like you all the time. So, yes, dear, I am being a good girl, as usual. I see. Just wanted to leave a little message for our newest writer, Howard Bloom. The book is going just perfectly, Howard. Don't you think? We'll be seeing you soon. Howard Bloom, hanging out with devils? Are we surprised? I just forgot to say one thing. Honey, if you harm one hair on Fred Feline's little head, I will smite you, and it will hurt. Okay, toodles. Subscribe. Everybody, please hit that like for the power of good over evil.
Psst, psst. Wait. Hey, my name is Vinny. I work at the studio here with Nancy Grace, and I seen a lot of weird things in my time, but this Howard Bloom is out back signing all kinds of papers and stuff, talking about movie deals and sacrificing things for to get it's his movie deal. It's his movie deal. That's what he keeps saying. You know, I don't know these people. I don't really read books, but he just looks weird when he keeps smiling and giggling about it. Don't you find that odd? He's like all excitable. I mean, I don't really like the part where he keeps talking about dude's dad like he's inside his head. Yet when I asked him in the elevator, did you ever talk to Mr. Koberger's dad?
No, it's a book. It's a book. You have to understand. It's about sources.
Yeah, I told him, Fancy Grace told me all about sources. I got your sources. Now it burns when I pee. Get out of here. Subscribe to Fancy Grace. And nothing half-assed. She's my favorite.
Y'all, that she's funny. We're gonna watch one more. I want y'all to go to her and subscribe. So I'm not gonna sit here and watch all of them because y'all need to go subscribe to her. But this other one is really funny.
Oh, good evening. And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Fancy Grace, your sweeter but still sassy cousin to former prosecutor Nancy Grace from a parallel dimension, here to bring you the latest on the Brian Koberger trial. Now let's dive in to the murky waters of justice, where the presumption of innocence seems to be sinking faster than a lead balloon. If you are one of the 40,000 people that subscribes to the Drunken Chicken Show, then you will recognize this next focus of my report because I would like to touch upon how some of us have been some real flip-flopping kind of people. And maybe we could tone down our attitude and our condescendingness towards people with a different opinion. Because we surely seem to have a different opinion not very long ago, didn't we, Daniel? Roll it.
Love is blind. You have these people that literally think that Brian Koberger is going to be found innocent. He's going to walk out of there, walk into their bedroom, tickle their butthole, and tell them goodnight stories.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Tickling buttholes, Daniel? I mean, really? That's disgusting and an insult to everyone that is a proponent for justice. Because I should have to remind you, we are all supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, you give him 40,000 subscribers.
You know, it's me, Chris McDonough. Hi, Daniel. Wait.
This broadcast for just a slight pause. Be right back. Christopher McDonough, if you do not stop interrupting my broadcast, I will come unglued on you. Do you hear me, sir? Now, for that, I am going to play some of your videos from a year ago. You better get your attitude right. You be patient and get in line, or go back to Nancy's. Okay, thank you. We'll return to our regular broadcast.
Thank you for letting me just say, I really like the drunken chicken. You know.
Your family. But a guy who comes out of the army, never worked a murder in his life. They hadn't had a homicide in 7 years in that community. And they handed him the largest homicide in the United States at that time. Okay? And say, okay, you'll make it happen. Okay? And I saw him walking out of the building, carrying boxes, wearing rubber gloves. And I thought to myself, dear Lord, what's going to happen here ultimately in the long run? Now, I believe also, I'm an optimist on the other side of the coin, that they have all that they're going to need to put this guy away. Okay, I'm very optimistic about that. But the problem is, right now, your families and Shannon, your clients are suffering. I'm sorry about it. It happens.
At the Drunken Chicken Show, it seems opinions flow as freely as the drinks. 1 year ago, Daniel was singing a different tune about this case. Being that I am a better crime reporter than my cousin Nancy, I have brought forth evidence from the Fancy Grace Vault O experts. To introduce this next video clip, I will have an esteemed panel guest, one that probably does not even need my introduction, because she is the most well-known forensic cashier from the Target, and a personal friend to the show, Franny. Franny, fill us in on what's going on with this drunken chicken. Go!
Hello again, old friend. It's great to see you, Fancy. I am still working at the Target as a forensic cashier, and I have been doing more research. Turns out that they were not telling the truth about the pinging off of cell towers, or the pinging of Wi-Fi's, or the stalking. They were told to us and then taken away by Bill Thompson.
The video that you asked me to review today and introduce is indeed of the drunken chicken, Daniel, and whom he is interviewing with is none other than YouTube controversial commentator JB Gunner. Mr. Gunner has an extensive arrest record and does love to drink, but some of his critics say that he is bigoted or perhaps racist and has domestic violence issues. I would never say those things. That's just what I heard. But personally, I have to say, Mr. Gunner is funny. You can't say he's not. He's like a modern day Morton Downey Jr. You just can't look away. And JB is consistent and knowledgeable with his topics of discussion, especially his political channel. So, you never cease to amaze me, Mr. Gunner. I guess we each have our own opinions and we're entitled to them, sir. So you'll have no issue with us. When Mr. Gunner interviewed Daniel, the drunken chicken, and boy, not the Daniel you see today. Take a look. Thanks, Fancy.
The fact
Good
that
to
we
see you,
all do
honey.
come from two different sides of this. So I'm very much so an innocent until proven guilty guy. I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in that. Where I assume you would probably be pro law. I'm not saying law enforcement isn't pro Constitution, but I would assume like are you more likely to believe the affidavits and everything the courts are saying, or are you skeptical on this as well?
Initially, when the first stuff comes out, I tend to go along and side with the law enforcement side of it. But as things come out, I'm very open to change my mind. And I follow the evidence. If there's evidence that proves in one direction or not, then that's where I follow. So I'm very evidentiary based. And when it comes to this case, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. You know, the direction of travel that Koberger was happening to come into, and even when he was seen, you know, by the gas station, that's coming from east to west when he was in Pullman, supposed to be coming west to east. You know, you have the time, the phone pings. You know, he's pinged at his house at 2:45, but at 2:47, he's seen on Nevada Street 2 miles away. And so he would have had to have traveled 60 miles an hour uninterrupted to have gotten there. You know, you look at the fact that the phone pings, even in the probable cause affidavit, it speaks about that he connected to a tower in Idaho and wasn't there on that day on the 14th. You know, you talk about the fact that he turns his phone off. Well, the probable cause affidavit shows the following day he did something very similar. Without coordinating that evidence with anything like finding a weapon, finding clothes, finding something that puts him in that area, all it does to me is show a pattern, and a pattern that he goes on drives and turns his phone off. So I think that's more in favor of him than it is the prosecution.
So Daniel claimed he believed everything he said because he followed the evidence. Until one day, like a magic spell, an email or a phone call would confuse the drunken chicken. He felt such strong feelings of empathy that it caused him to lose touch with his senses. Daniel forgot how the times didn't match up, the directions of travel were wrong, and low-quality video was randomly obtained from sources. Some important footage was not even requested by the unmethodical canvass the officials conducted. Sadly, not completed in a timely manner, some video was lost forever. This, too, was no longer important to the drunken chicken. He could no longer separate emotion from the analysis. The empathy was warranted, but the analysis of the information was not the cause of the painful emotions. Those feelings will only dull slightly with time. It was not Daniel's intention to lose his investigative intuitions. He was torn between acknowledging errors in investigation and respecting the loss and the pain that he was truly empathetic toward and was shared by a grieving, pained heart of another. No one wants to dismiss that pain. Unfortunately, it does no one any good to have empathy if the result is that justice is not served. A rush in conclusion, a disregard of rules, a shadow of doubts and lies swirling chaotically can only cause the pain to linger, the blind rage to feed the root cause of the entire case: evil. Evil wants the hearts of men to be blinded, to run in chaos. It wants division amongst the people. It wants to place blinders on the seekers of justice. Evil wants tunneled vision so strong that it will blind the people into serving up another soul for its hunger. So I ask you all, are you sure? Are you 100% sure, before a trial with truth and dignity and honor has occurred, are you ready to serve the soul of Brian Christopher Koberger to that evil? Perhaps as a society of empathetic, caring, and supportive people, we should first demand that no shortcuts are taken, demand that all the evidence be admitted, demand that mistakes be confessed and rectified when possible, demand that the accused be allowed to defend themselves as they see fit. Let it all. Are you not intelligent enough to sort through the information? Are you so righteous that you doubt the ability of anyone other than yourself of being capable of doing the same? Are you okay with lies? Manipulation of DNA? A gift from the creator of mankind, being diminished in importance and uniqueness, transformed to a computer program simulation obtained by nefarious means by a G-man that has no problem stealing it from the people, toying with the results in order to kill a man. Is that not a sign that you are filled with the evil that pushes and drives for what it wants as fast as it can get you to deliver? Wake up, slow down, and think. Daniel, Bill Thompson, Moscow Police Department, Ashley Jennings, this is not about your errors. This is your opportunity to do the right thing. Be Atticus Finch. You honor the dead by telling their story, no matter what the story is. Anyone that thinks they are any less loved, respected, or held in high regard because of possible life choices can remember they were owed their time to grow, change, fall, and rise. So do not stand in judgment as you do of Brian Koberger, because you could be wrong. And the finger you point always has three pointing back at you. Those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening. Now back to Daniel's thoughts from May 18th, 2023.
Search warrant in his apartment complex revealed nothing. When it comes to the blood on his bed, I'm fairly positive that that's possibly bloody nose. And the reason being is if he was that bloody and full of blood, why isn't there blood on the carpet leading up to the bed, on the mattress, on the sheet? It's just on the mattress cover. And
Remember the image we saw of him when he came to court? Remember how it looked like he had cut himself shaving? Maybe he does that shit on a regular. Maybe he's just bad at shaving. You know what I mean?
That's quite possible. That is quite possible. And so when it comes to Koberger, like I said, there's a lot of information. I don't like coincidences in any aspect. And then you have the prosecutor or the defense trying to subpoena Bethany Funk for explicatory evidence, and then you also have the following day, them asking for requests for more discovery, and then also the Giglio thing comes up. I don't like the timing and all that shit. And so to me, that all kind of, brings up the possibility of something nefarious occurring here.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't know. I don't think
What the hell? Looks like you were quite the pro burger, Daniel. Does Bill Thompson know about this? I don't know that I can watch your show, chicken hypocrite. Oh.
Thank you for having me, Fancy. Yes, I am a member of the Justice League. I do know a thing or two about justice. What I don't like about this chicken is that he constantly says what these folks don't understand, what these people aren't getting, what you can't understand and grasp. Like he's not one of the people. You know, thinking isn't your strong suit. You drunken chicken. Maybe you shouldn't try to condescend to everyone, and maybe people might listen a little better. But you're very arrogant, and you would never be on the Justice League, because you, sir, are guano. Do better. We're watching you.
That's 100% right, Nancy. Fancy, sorry. I have never examined Brian Koberger, but I can tell you, in his sick, demented brain, he has been planning this his entire life, waiting for this opportunity. And I know he's done it before probably 100 times. They just don't know yet. And absolutely, he did it. I mean, there's touch DNA on the knife sheath. I don't care that it could have fallen. I don't care that it could have been swiped on there. That would never happen. Never. Only things like people I've never examined, me knowing their entire brain. Only those things happen. Thank you for having me, Fancy. As you can tell, I do a lot of the psychology reports for your cousin Nancy. And I can say, in my professional opinion, he is a psycho that would bring a vacuum cleaner, a dustpan, probable, and a smelting machine so he can melt his knife. It's all completely reasonable because I have determined he is a multiple personality, schizophrenic, psychoendosis, kazam, bibbidi bobbidi boo, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious maniac. Thanks. Okay, yes. I'll go back to Nancy's show. Okay, well, if you need me in the... No. Oh, all right. Have a nice day, Fancy. Goodbye. I'm in my happy place. Dear Lord. Sweet Jesus. Please help me to understand all the things that are going on in this case of Brian Koberger in Idaho. I don't understand all the secrecy and how people think it's okay to break rules and lie and be untrustworthy and secretive against their own people. I mean, everyone deserves to be innocent until proven guilty. So I'm going to try really hard, Lord. I just wish you could give me some courage and some encouraging words here. I'm in my happy place. Kitties, kitties, kitties. Kitty, kitty. I love you. I love kitties. Woosah. I'm trying to love the people. I'm trying, Lord.
Hello again, Fancy. It's good to see you. I know you're doing wonderfully with your program and fighting crime. Keep up the good work and try to have some faith. I'm going to be keeping my eye on Idaho. and make sure they're doing things right by Brian Koberger. Remember, children, vengeance is mine, not yours, Idaho. FBI? We'll be talking soon. God bless, Fancy. Take care, dear.
Yeah, that is hilarious, and I think it is important. Hang on. Okay. And I think it's important because it shows that there are people that had different opinions and how their opinions shifted so much from the way they were to now. This is why I say, yes, I do support the parents in their child is not here. Like, that's horrible, but if we're not out for true justice for them, then what? Why do this? Finding the wrong person is not going to, it's not going to be justice. And nothing half-assed. Her stuff is funny, but it is very informational. It gives information. She does make it funny, so that I think that draws a different audience too, which helps. Because I learned, I had never seen that interview Daniel did until I watched that the other day, and I was like, wow. I knew that he had a different opinion because I used to watch him whenever he had that opinion, but I didn't realize he did that interview. So, GAC's always, to me, been halfway the dark side, but I don't know. I couldn't watch him after he started talking about Twiz and Heather the way he did, so I just quit. I only watched one episode or one podcast thing he did, and that was it. He made me mad, so I didn't watch anything else he did. But the opinion Daniel used to have is the opinion that, I'm not going to say everybody should think he's innocent because he's innocent. That's not what I'm saying. But we should have an open mind as to what's going on and pay attention to both sides of the documents. And the stuff that Ann Taylor's putting out is not just, I know people say, oh, it's just the defense's strategy. There are some things, yes, she has to put out, but she does not have to try to find an alternate suspect. She does not have to she doesn't have to do any of that. Oh my God, Heather. So it's going to be interesting. These new documents that are going to come out is going to be interesting. I'm fixing to end this live. I've got a couple other readings I'm going to do. Like I said, I think one of my reading is coming out at 2. So that's just the first part of that one. I don't know. I can't, like, there's some people I probably should be able to handle, but I can't, so I just don't. But my sense of humor is not, it offends me too much, some people saying stuff, so I just don't watch them. I also don't go to other people's streams and tell them they're wrong or they're stupid or anything else. I just stay away from people I don't agree with, that I can't get along with. So yeah, I hope we get those documents today. So there's a lot to go over. Like I said, I hope Miss Potts, I'm sure she will go over the documents. That's always my favorite. I go over the ones that I understand and can make sense of, like the one I went over earlier, just because I don't think people saw the importance of it. It wasn't just Ann saying, hey, I mean, it was her saying, hey, this doesn't have anything to do with Brian, but that's not all the implications of that. There's a lot of different legal things in it that I was talking about that is implied in those documents too. So The unredacted PCA, where's that at? I don't have that. Who has it? Never have I ever. Kane, post the link to that because you're a mod. You can post the link. You want me to go through? I didn't know there was an unredacted PCA. Where did I miss that at? Well, post the link so I can just go to it. Oh yeah, nothing happens. There's like great. I don't see him because I clicked the 3 little buttons on the side that said "Don't show me the shit anymore." So yeah, I do that a lot because you have to, Kane. And you don't usually. Christy is usually the one doing it. I don't care if you're eating sausages. I want the link. Eating sausages. So you can click things. You're doing it now. And you're typing, so. I didn't know there was an unredacted alibi. I mean, unredacted PC, whatever you just said that was. Heck. Whoops. Yeah, unredacted PCA. Well, I used to wash him before he was the drunken chicken. Kane today. Heather, you know where it is. Post a link so I can get to it. I try to watch, which I do. There are some people that I watch that think Ryan's guilty. It depends on what they're doing with it. If they have thumbnails with a bunch of bull crap on it, I can't go there. I mean, I've been interested in some true crime before this. I don't know that I ever really did anything on YouTube before this. Thank you, Christy. Good Lord. Looks like Christy has to do everything. Now, what date was it posted, y'all? Well, I think we're all called that at this point. But all the conspiracies I've looked into have ended up being true, so. Kane, what date was this posted? This unredacted PCA. Because I missed that somewhere, clearly, I guess, because I haven't seen it. Oops. Okay, that's why I needed to know the date. I just didn't want to have to go down them. Y'all know I have ADHD. I won't be able to find it. Is it called the PCA still, or did they name it something else? And I don't see nothing posted from, I see the 24th and the 21st, but I don't see the thing on here. That's right. Yeah. Me neither, Christy. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they named it like if it's named the PCA thing or if it's named like something else. Kane said hang on, so we're hanging on. That's exactly what I say too. That's exactly what I say. Me neither. I'm talking. That's what I told Kane. I said I don't see nothing that says unredacted PCA. It might not be listed under that. I don't know. Oh my God, Kane. So then took it off. You didn't download it. Oh well, now I really want to find this. Hang on, y'all. Yeah, I don't see this. I wonder if it's one of them that's about to come out. Hang on. I go way down here. Um. I don't see it on this either, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. That don't mean it's not coming out. So we'll have to look for it. But anyways, so I do want to see that when that comes out, though, the unredacted stuff, because of the stuff about Ethan and stuff on there. I want to see what the unredacted PCA actually tells us. So I will look for that. I'm sure as soon as she gets that, I'm sure she's going to do a live on that. I think Miss Potts would do a live on the unredacted PCA. I'm almost positive she will. Kane, what are you working? Where are you working today? Are you going? Did you go back to the what you call it? No, because you would have been there early this morning. You ain't going back to work. Anyway, if we find it, one of y'all miss. Oh, DoorDash. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Then if Miss Potts don't do it live, I'll come back and do it live. But they should be hopefully releasing these documents, so we'll have enough to go through. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to go for now, y'all. Y'all have a good day, and thank you for coming. Thank you for liking and sharing and everything else. Make sure you go check out everybody's stuff. Heather's, Nothing Have Asked. Christy has a page. Kane has a YouTube. So make sure to check out everybody's stuff. Everybody is good, in my opinion. We don't have a whole lot of crap that goes on here most of the time, which is good. So, but we'll see what comes out. Yeah, I'm not sure who the private driver was. I'm still confused on that too. So, but hopefully we will have more updates soon. Y'all have a good day, and I will see y'all on the next one.